Chapter 6, Professor of Tsinghua University briefly introduced himself as teacher. Qiao Chen couldn't help but hold He Yuzhuan's hand tightly. Her eyes followed the direction where Qiao Nian went and she mumbled, "Grandma, did you hear what he said? I think sister's biological grandfather is in that room." Weren't Qiao Nian's whole family from the countryside? How could they afford to book a private room in waterside loft? Everyone in the Qiao family thought of this and their faces darkened. Since there were outsiders around, they had to put their doubts aside and follow the attendant to the room they booked. In the private room, Yewang Chuan opened the door and saw several people inside. She followed him inside. The man in the wheelchair saw her and immediately became teary. He quickly gestured for people to push him over. He held Qiao Nian's hand excitedly, and his eyes became wet before he even spoke. "You're Nian, child, it has been so many years. Grandpa has finally found you. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to see you before I leave. If we were unable to find you, how could I account to your late mum?" Qiao Nian looked at his grey hair. The emotions on the old man's face didn't seem fake. Those fierce eyes were so teary at that moment, revealing how emotional he was. Even those hands holding her were trembling. She had never felt this way before. Her emotions were as tumultuous as the old man babbling while holding her. Old Master Zhang, someone with much life experience, quickly controlled his emotions. Holding Qiao Nian's hands, he started introducing her to the members of the house. Nian, this is your dad, Zhang Zongjin. He's currently a teacher." Yewang Chuan raised his brows while watching Old Master introduce him. Old Master briefly introduced him, Professor of Tsinghua University, as a teacher. Qiao Nian saw a man in a tunic with red eyes and fists clenched as he tried to hold back his emotions. The concept of a father was blurry to her, but Old Master was trying to get her to call him father. She pursed his lips, looked at the middle-aged man, and called out, "Dad!" "Hey!" The middle-aged man's eyes immediately turned red. He quickly turned his head away to hide his emotions. Old Master Zhang heaved a sigh of relief and continued to introduce her to other members of the family. "That's your second uncle and aunt, and your elder sister Xianro. Your second uncle has a business of his own, and Xianro is around the same age as you. You have seen her brother before. He's Zhang Li." Qiao Nian looked at them. The girl and her mom looked indifferent, while the man greeted her kindly. "Uncle, Auntie!" Qiao Nian called out. Old Master Zhang's face was full of joy. He didn't expect Qiao Nian to fit in immediately. He was satisfied as long as she didn't resist the idea. Xianji held Qiao Nian's hand and asked, "Are you hungry? You haven't eaten lunch, right? Quickly come here. Zongjin, get the service staff to serve the food." "All right." The family at the dining table enjoyed themselves, and Old Master kept offering her food while asking about her life in the past. Qiao Nian answered everything he asked. Even though her answers were brief, they were sincere. Chapter 7, Studying in Rao City High School. Old Master Zhang hesitated. Nian, I heard that you have dropped out of school for a year. Aren't you in your third year of high school? Have you thought of which high school to attend? Do you have any particular school in mind?" High school. Qiao Nian was originally focused on drinking her soup. After hearing him, she immediately looked down. If Old Master didn't mention it, she wouldn't even have thought of it. To her, high school and university were merely just words on a piece of paper. She never needed such things. Qiao Nian pondered for a moment and shook her head. "I haven't thought about it yet. Zhang Xianro thought that she avoided the question because her results were poor and could not get into a high school, so she sneered in her heart. Grandpa was so ridiculous for asking which school she's looking at. Do you think you can get into any school you want? Ye Wangchuan looked at Qiao Nian, who was eating quietly. He leaned against the back of his chair and said casually, Rao City High School is not bad. Rao City High School. Old Master Zhang was stunned, as his original intention was to bring Qiao Nian back to Beijing to study. He then realized that Qiao Nian was also Ye Wangchuan's fiancé. If Qiao Nian were to go back to Beijing, he may not be able to protect her, as the people in Beijing were more complicated. After thinking about it, Old Master Zhang agreed. Rao City High School isn't bad, the teaching standard is fine. Nian, what do you think? Rao City High School. Qiao Nian pursed her lips, as she didn't want to stay in Rao City. However, once she met Old Master's eager eyes, she nodded uncontrollably. I'm fine with anything. All right. Rao City High School, then. He was recuperating in Beijing, and Zongjin was working in Beijing as well. If Qiao Nian were to stay in Rao City, the second family would have to help to take care of her. He turned to Zhang Xianro and them, frowned, and said, Your second brother has a house in Rao City. For your last year of high school, you can stay there temporarily. Other than Zhang Li, the rest of them didn't look happy when they heard that. Although Zhang Li had a house of his own, Old Master's arrangement seemed to be openly guarding against them. As Zhang Xianro was still young, she couldn't hide her emotions and curled her lips to express her dissatisfaction. Zhang Zongnan looked a little awkward, while Tang Wanru sat gracefully at the side, but her expression was disdainful after being involved in such a matter. Ye Wangchuan said indifferently, I'll be staying in Rao City for a while, so I can take care of her. Qiao Nian quickly raised her head to look at him, coincidentally making eye contact with a certain person. This gaze. She quickly looked away, almost choking on her soup. In another room, Qiao Chen, Qiao Weiman, and the family were distracted during their meal, as they kept thinking about what happened with Qiao Nian. After talking about it a few times, they started to digress. Fortunately, He Yejun and Tang Wei's ties were strong. It was confirmed that Qiao Chen could enter the humanities school after the college entrance examination. Therefore, Qiao Chen's unsettled heart finally felt better. All the guests were happy after the meal. He Yejun, Qiao Weiman, and Madame Fu sent Tang Wei and her daughter off, while Qiao Chen followed behind. After leaving Waterside Loft, Fu Ji walked beside Qiao Chen. He noticed that she looked pale and distracted and asked, What's wrong? Looking at his resolute eyebrows, Qiao Chen bit her lip and shook her head. Nothing, I just have a slight headache. Chapter 8, Trashy younger sister was acting frail again. She was frail since young, so Fu Ji didn't give much thought to it. He glanced at the adults and then asked, Do you need to head to the hospital? Qiao Chen stopped him immediately, as she wasn't really feeling unwell. She then hesitantly said, It's all right, brother Ji. I had this issue for quite a while already. It could have been caused by the still air indoors. I should feel better after getting some fresh air. Fu Ji had a look of concern on his face as he tried to soothe her breathing. He gently spoke. You should have told me if you weren't feeling well. Auntie Tang wouldn't mind it. Qiao Chen stared at his handsome face. She immediately felt that her bad mood caused by Qiao Nian disappeared. She held his hands and answered, All right. She remembered something then and asked, I saw elder sister just now. Why was she at Waterside Loft? I recalled Dad saying that her biological parents are from Luohe County. Only one train heads there every day. Could it be that she couldn't get the tickets? Fu Jie frowned as he heard that. He took a look at Waterside Loft, but he didn't put much thought into it and answered, "It could be." Qiao Chen bit on her lip and said hesitantly, "Older sister had a fight with grandma before she left. She even rejected the money that dad wanted to give her. She must have thought that we wanted to chase her away. What about our relationship? Brother Ji, I shouldn't have fought older sister for you. It has nothing to do with you." Fu Jie immediately answered as he saw that she was close to tears. "I fell in love with you first. Qiao Nian should give us her blessings." Qiao Chen was frail from a young age. This was the first time that she was so determined, and it was to get together with him. He must be responsible for her. Qiao Chen was so frail that he couldn't bear to let anyone else take care of her. He could only feel sorry for Qiao Nian. "All right." When Qiao Chen saw the cold look on Fu Jie's face when he spoke about Qiao Nian, she felt better. But she was still worried about the reason for Qiao Nian being at the Waterside Loft. Hopefully, it was just a coincidence, like what Grandma said. She calmed down and smiled. Suddenly, she saw someone. Qiao Nian. Qiao Nian was wearing the same clothes in the afternoon, a jacket over a striped top and a pair of light blue jeans shorts that showed off her long legs. She didn't have any makeup on, but her natural good looks attracted everyone. Fu Jie saw Qiao Nian as well. He was so shocked that he exclaimed, "Qiao Nian!" Other than Qiao Nian, he also saw others. Qiao Weiman was walking ahead of them. But when he heard what they said, he stopped in his tracks and looked at them. Tang Wei was holding onto her daughter for support. She was initially walking in front, but she stopped talking to He Yejun after she saw someone. She immediately asked her daughter to bring her to Old Master Zhang. She then greeted him happily. "Old Master Zhang, why are you in Rao City?" Old Master Zhang. Everyone in the Qiao family was shocked. Madame Fu remembered something as she glanced at the Zhang family. Zhang. She heard of this last name. Could it be the Zhang family that she had in mind? Rao City's inner circle had different levels. Even though the Qiao family was finally a part of this inner circle, they were just third class. The Fu family was doing way better as they mixed in politics.